other factors that come into play when it concerns staying on track. Sometimes it can just be that you don't like the taste of your new foods. And that's totally okay, as your taste buds need to get adjusted to all those new flavors. It even can take up to 20 attempts before you start enjoying a new taste. If you don't like something after 20 times, you probably won't ever like it. For me, it took 3 to 4 times before I started appreciating artichoke and fennel, for example. But now I absolutely love the taste of both these veggies. Never give up and always try new things. It's interesting that zinc-rich foods are excellent palate balancers. Try including spinach, sesame seeds, dry yeast, cacao, poppy seeds, flax and pumpkin seeds, nori seeds in your menu. And herbs and spices will make your food taste excellent as well. And your taste buds will adapt because they actually regenerate after every 2 weeks. Moving on, as I emphasized in a previous video, staying on your chosen path requires constant reminding of your why. Why are you on this journey? What changes if you fall off? Seeing the long-term rewards of having the discipline and following through. You can do certain things that will help you stay on track. It relates back to the last video, that is, it is tied to social pressure, but we'll do a much deeper dive today. I'd like you to realize the immense importance of the environment and the people you are interacting with. Are they supportive? What kind of lifestyle habits do they have? Do they inspire you to continue following this healing journey? Or are they luring you back to what you intrinsically don't want? To a great extent, self-control comes from within, but many of our actions depend just as much on our friends and family. We need to take a close look at the people around us. Do they have the power to make us unhealthier, fatter, drink more alcohol, smoke cigarettes, or even care less about the environment? Oftentimes, this pressure works in sneaky ways. It may be totally unconscious. One thing is to deliberately copy others to fit in with a group, but there's the unconscious part as well. Without you realizing it, your brain is constantly picking up on cues from the people around you to influence your behavior. And there are consequences. It is now well accepted that our personal sense of self is derived from other people. Amber Gaffney, a social psychologist from Humboldt State University, says, "The more of your identity you draw from a group, even when you're not around that group, the more likely you are to uphold those values." Our choices are influenced by who we are with when we are asked any question, how those people reacted, any conversations we might have had beforehand, and our fundamental understanding of what is normal for that group of friends. But if we are still in doubt, the easiest thing to do is to look at what others are doing and copy them. We do this all the time, and we might not realize the impact it has. Lots of studies have shown that when we eat with people who eat a lot, we eat more. People aren't often even aware. They might say it was the taste of or the price or hunger levels rather than the people around them. Susan Hicks, who studies the psychobiology of appetite at the University of Birmingham, suggests that if you eat with someone else, it clouds your ability to pick up on cues from your own body. You'd normally feel full, but this feeling gets disrupted by being stimulated by your friends. And similarly, as we discussed in the mindful eating video, other distractions like watching TV increase your food consumption as well. Then, Hicks wanted to encourage people to choose vegetable side dishes in a cafeteria. Instead of displaying posters that would say that vegetables are good for you, she provided fabricated data about which side dishes most customers bought. And she put a vegetable side dish at the top. Those posters just describe the behavior of other people. When we enter a new environment, we look for cues about how to behave. So to see that a certain choice is the most popular really influences us, even if we don't recognize it. Even when the posters were taken down, people continued buying more veggie sides. So she had created a new norm. We most probably use normative behavior because it makes us feel connected with a social group. As said previously multiple times, we are social creatures in need of a community. If we are with a new social group, we are more likely to imitate behaviors. The thing is, the same way a positive behavior can spread through a group of people, a negative behavior can also spread. Research has shown that a person's chance of becoming obese increases by 57% if a close friend is obese, 40% if a sibling is obese, and 37% if a spouse is obese. So obesity derived from lifestyle choices is contagious, but the good news is that physical activity and healthy eating are too. So it makes sense to surround yourself with people who have a lifestyle that you strive for and keep away from behavior patterns that you want to leave behind. I'd like to give you some real-life examples of positive influence. My own new path changed the eating habits of my best friends, and I couldn't be happier. There was some resistance in the beginning, but that's okay. Sometimes people need time to let things sink in and have some inner dialogues before they decide to act. Those who haven't made the switch, but with whom we still stay in touch with, respect our choices and are considerate when choosing a restaurant or inviting us over. Growing up, I had a mother who had always been more of a veggie person, and she too educated herself through my own journey. Today she consumes plant milks and wouldn't cook any meat if it wasn't for my father. So it works in both directions. You influence others and others influence you. The bottom line of all this is that your environment has a say in how successfully you adhere to your new ways. It's not only the people you surround yourself with, but also the food temptations and other distractions. I invite you to analyze your environment at home, at work, what you see in the places you go to that might distract you. Are there any shops or delis that you prefer to stay away from? Do you maybe see any ads that could have an influence? Do you have any foods that you'd prefer not to eat at home or at work? Do you have a family member who distracts you from, for example, going to bed early? Maybe he or she has TV on with something that interests you and you can't resist. These are just a few examples. Do the exercise in the workbook. Analyze your environment. First, write down the aspects that support your journey, the things in your home and work environment and the supportive and inspiring people you interact with. And then, sniff out all the things that might disrupt your smooth journey and prevent you staying on track. Think of how you could remove those things from your environment. Create strategies if it involves people. Again, communication is key here. And finally, besides removing as much negative influence as possible, think which positives you could bring in addition to those you already listed, and how you could achieve it. For example, If you don't have enough supportive and inspiring people in your life, think where you could find them. Search for groups online and locally that share your values and goals, then join them and contribute to those communities. Stay close to people who love themselves, as it will radiate back to you. If you struggle with self-love and spend time with people who truly love themselves, you will start to train yourself to do the same. Also, if you struggle with self-love, you could try the mirror exercise. Every day, when you look in the mirror, concentrate on the things that you like. Start just by looking yourself in the eye and tell yourself how much you love yourself. Even if you hate yourself from top down, you will find something that you like, so look at that. And if you don't, make an effort to search for it. And keep going, day after day, and soon you'll find what you are looking for and notice more aspects of yourself that you admire. I'd like to give you more proof that love and support are crucial elements. Did you know that the cuddle or love hormone oxytocin is at the top of the hormonal hierarchy? There is a fascinating connection between all the hormones in your body. So at the bottom, there are sex hormones, progesterone, estrogen, and testosterone. On top of that, there is insulin. If we are not insulin sensitive, our sex hormones get unbalanced as well. On top of insulin, we have cortisol. So if we are stressed out and our cortisol is out of whack, it influences insulin and the sex hormones. However, now comes the fascinating part, the queen of all the hormones that sits on top of them all, even above cortisol, and that's oxytocin. If we have love, connection, and support in our lives, it outweighs everything else and balances all the hormones below. And the love part includes self-love. Let's say you are about to do something that is out of alignment with your established goal. You feel it coming. You are about to give in. Before you decide whether to act or not, take 5 minutes with yourself. Sit with your eyes closed and let anything that wants to surface come to the surface. If after those 5 minutes you are still determined to do whatever you're about to do, then do it. And most importantly, do it mindfully and with enjoyment. What if afterwards you feel that you fell off the wagon? How do you navigate this situation? I know we are prone to feel guilty in such situations, but there is no point at all. In fact, it could be the worst thing to do, as you'd add stress to your life. It's done. You can't change that. It's a fact. You can only forgive yourself. Remember the importance of forgiveness towards yourself and others from Module 3. You are unconditionally loved, supported, and worthy, despite the fact that you may have given in. Maybe it was supposed to happen to help you grow in some way or learn something. You can simply acknowledge that it happened, make peace with your body and your mind, be present, and listen to its cues from that moment on. Now, some practical tips. If it was sugary food you ate, go for a brisk walk. Physical activity after a meal will help you keep your blood sugar spike from climbing too high. Even though you'll be able to blunt that spike to some extent, you most probably won't prevent your blood sugar from climbing a bit too high, which can result in blood sugar low later. To make that easier on you, snack on raw veggies or other low glycemic foods in order to stabilize your system. And most importantly, start fresh the next day with your established routine, exercise, and nourishing food. So tap into your environment, physical and social. Bring out the positives and negatives and think how you can increase the things that will contribute to keeping you on track and how you could eliminate the things that have a potential to steer you away from your chosen path. In addition, I invite you to come up with a plan for when you fall off the wagon, so to speak. Arm yourself with a mindset that won't drag you into the guilt and shame hole. That instead is accepting, embracing, and loving. I wish you all the best with the exercise and see you in the next video.